Good morning, Jasiri lovers. Well, as you know, when we started this show, we pledged to give you the hottest gist around the continent, in the rain, in the sun, even if it's raining hailstorm and raining cats and dogs. Well, today it is raining cats and dogs, so we had to battle the weather to be here. And you know that on Jasiri we bring you the hottest conversation, so we're about to balance the weather, cold and hot, whatever you call it, spicy. And speaking of hot, for those who haven't heard the news, Tems won a BET award for the best, guess, gospel inspirational music. Yeah, I said gospel. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because, no shade to Tems. Tems is amazing. She's inspiring and all that, but gospel? That's a big one. It's like, winning an award for best actress at the AMVCA. Me.
I'm not saying you don't have talent.
No.
Exactly, but the talent is not
Talented in that direction.
Yeah. And so it's not like, it's a different thing if there was no nominee and then they're just like, you know what, you are inspirational enough to be close enough to gospel, so let's just give it to you. But there were other
legends.
Yeah. I even think that it's a bit ridiculous to put gospel stroke inspirational as a one category because gospel music is not. It's inspirational, but inspirational music is not necessarily gospel music.
Nowadays, there should be a clear divide.
There should be a clear divide.
And inspirational is subjective.
But now they are doing. I remember talking to someone, and an artist. She's relocated to the UK now. She said, I do gospel and inspirational. And I said she must have gone gospel. Gospel wasn't gospeling for her. It wasn't. So you now, expand your horizon by adding inspirational. So I know that some artists decide to pair it, gospel and, just to widen the net. And I don't think that's proper.
They are.
When I first saw the story, I said, Tems, gospel, inspirational.
Well, perhaps it is inspirational.
Have you listened to
be honest, I don't even hear.
Portable inspires me.
I don't actually hear
so maybe Portable should have won.
Wow.
Because inspirational is subjective.
Wow.
So the thing is, I don't actually hear 3/4 of what she says in her song. The sound is nice, but I don't actually hear the words, and I'm not going to go to Google and start looking for the lyrics of the song so I can follow what is going on.
I know.
But I feel like this shift. I feel like there's this definitely huge shift, and maybe we're not seeing it as much in Nigeria or within Africa, but it's definitely something that is Western, right? This shift from let us not put the gospel in people's faces.
Yes. Let's soften it.
Yes, let's soften the landing, and not necessarily mention God in every other line or Jesus in every other line, but make it sound a bit more appealing to not just a religious audience, but also a secular audience.
There is that, right? But there's also, if you listen to the title of the song is Me and You. And I'm sure the you is not, it's not. It's
me and you, Jesus.
Me and you, Holy Spirit.
Because I remember Tiwa Savage also coming to say that somebody's son was Jesus she's talking about, So we've blurred the lines.
No, honey. There are no more lines.
No. There are no
more lines. None whatsoever.
If you're speaking, let's stay with gospel. This is a leaning that is fast taking root. It's like wildfire. If you watch movies on certain channels, the mute when it comes to God, it's muted. Mm-hmm. So, and it's, if it can be taken out, they would take it out.
Yeah.
Nobody, so that clear line of soft landing, looking for synonyms for God, synonyms for Jesus, synonyms for...
Can we just see those nominees again? Can we see the categories of the nominees again?
Oh boy, there's a Kirk there. There's a CC there.
Can I see the nominees? You've got Kirk Franklyn, you've got CC Winans, you've got
Halle Bailey.
Forget that, because that is also in the line of the inspirational. Because that angel song is not about God. It's
Maverick City.
Erica Campbell from Mary Mary.
Yeah.
Maverick City, and it's like, why are we? Why is it acceptable? And probably maybe this is not the time to talk about this, but why is it acceptable, for Christianity to be sort of numbed down or dumbed down or watered down. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's become much more it's as if, right, we want to make it a bit more acceptable to you and appeal to the side where it's not in your face.
Nobody, because everything is, come Jesus, come, angel, award all the glory.
What makes me laugh
God
is the fact
problems.
that, in all of this clamor for inclusivity and all that, it's like they're saying, because now we see a lot more appreciation for gospel music, right? So it's like they're saying, we see you, but, it's still not there yet, right? You're in this category, we're nominating you for this, but it's not inspirational enough to win.
My sister, pick a struggle. Pick a side. If not, life picks that side for you. Pick a side.
This is just rubbish.
We don't have anything against Tems, but my sister, just pick a struggle.
So I feel like even Tems would ask, like, huh?
Like, did I win?
What did you win, Tems? I'm not a gospel singer, but gospel inspirational.
I know we had to. I think I saw some interesting reactions to this situation.
There had to be.
And I think somehow there was one from Patrick Doyle, talking about it. And I think he said something about, just paraphrasing, he said something about, oh wow, it's live TV, sorry guys. He said something about, it just sort of shows the level, like stop looking for validation in places that you have no business looking for validation in.
Stop looking for validation.
Yes, if you've okay. So
listen, we'll have more to say about this. I wish you could see some of the responses and reactions.
We will.
It may not be like say, there's something wrong with us, but let's quickly go on a break. We'll be right back. To continue this talk, we never finish. All right, guys, so welcome back to Jesse. Before the break, we're talking about Tems' recent win. In case you people didn't know, Tems, what's that song again?
Me and You.
The one with whiskey, in case I want to remind Essence. That song, is the Tems. So this time she won in the category of Best Gospel Inspirational Song for the song titled Me and You. Lolo, welcome to the show.
Reaction is killing me.
That's why I said, Lolo,
which Tems?
I was desperately
that's
trying
why
because Blessings was trying to film me. I said, which Tems?
That's why I said,
is there any other Tems
is that reaction I said, welcome to
I
the
do
show.
not know. Is it that, honestly, sometimes, is it that they have no respect for us or they do not even listen to our songs? Somebody just goes and whispers to someone and says, oh, one Nigerian should win. Nigerians like noise. It's okay, Tems. Gospel, give her.
Actually, I didn't even consider this option. But what I do think is that there's definitely, I think that these awards are politicized.
Yes.
I personally feel like they're politicized.
Yeah.
And there's an agenda behind it.
What would they be hoping to achieve with this one?
I don't know.
No, it is an
I don't know. But it's association
so
with
we were
Tems.
talking, Lolo, before you came in, we're talking about, I said they blurred the line. She said they've removed the line.
They are no longer lying.
At the end of the day, right, they're trying to make it look similar, right? Gospel and inspirational. So you can listen. Let's say, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't do secular song. They're like, no, but this one is not secular. It's actually inspirational, which can also be gospel because someone has won in the category before. So it's like they're really trying to, like she said, sell a narrative, right? Yeah. That it doesn't have to be about Jesus to inspire you.
Yeah, because that's something about Jesus.
But they cannot put it.
And you know the song Angel by Haley Bailey is also in the category.
Oh, okay, so I get it.
No. But in that category, you've got CeCe Winans, you've got Kirk Franklin, you've got Shirley Caesar.
There you go.
You've got Erica Campbell from Mary Mary. You've got Maverick City Music.
No, this is obviously silly. Because one, you cannot slash gospel and inspiration.
Do you get it?
It's not, you cannot put a slash. There are different genres of music.
We are in a world where everything is evolving. I keep saying it on this table.
That's how our gospel people will soon start bopping in their videos.
We used to talk about it, that cartoons we used to watch growing up. Roadrunner, everything, Tom and Jerry, Can't you see that there's an evolution? We're using some very interesting ways to describe some things. We're using interesting pronouns. Listen, we are evolving. Where we're evolving to, c'est ça le problème, because where we are evolving to is not perhaps where everybody wants to go. Same as gospel and inspirational. Guys, it has come to stay.
I'm not going to lie, right? I feel like this is putting, I mean, before this even happened, there's been a subtle pressure on the young gospel artists to not mention, to try as much as possible not to mention anything God, Jesus, church.
We said
they have tried in rap music. You would hear, oh, you know, he saved me, you called me, but they're not mentioning it because they want it to be more inspirational, more appealing. Yes, more appealing than gospel. And someone actually said it. Now, this is not me. I'm not trying to water down BET and all those awards, but when someone said it in, I think, 2022, people came for him. It's like, gospel musicians are so desperate to win these awards, and so their thought pattern when writing songs are now channeled towards the possibility of winning this. That's why their lyrics is not aligning with gospel, because bad as ibado, let's be able to win this.
Yeah.
So the person was saying something like, do not be so pressured to win this award because it's going to affect your output. Because honestly, that's what it's going to do. If I, let's say I'm an upcoming gospel singer and my aim is to win the BET, trust me, I would either not mention God in any of my songs or just me and you, the conversation. You know.
Listen, we're going to get to the me and you part, because guys, have you seen the lyrics of the me and you?
Is
Don't worry, I will read it.
No,
I will read it out. I was interested in the responses. Media personality Patrick Doyle. He was quite vocal about it. He said he feels the pain of mainstream gospel artists who feel slighted that Tems, an evidently secular musician, was awarded the BET award for Best Gospel Song. That said, he says he believes that it's about time that committed Christians stop seeking validation from fickle institutions like the entertainment industry, mafia, which is, by the way, in the grip of Satan. That's one of them.
That's one of them. And before you read some of the lyrics, there's like I said, we have some interesting comments here. This one is by somebody called Ogbenyalu at Yada.
Yeah.
I think it was on Twitter. It said, "You see the BET Gospel Inspirational category. It's our lukewarmness and acceptable Christianity that led to this. Because how Tems won over CC and how that category is even called gospel or inspirational is our fault too. God help us." Siba, this idea, you know, even I used to even wonder at a point, like, gospel music, you're singing in church. Next thing you know, because you've become famous in church, people are now asking you to come to their other churches to come and perform and all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's a very gray line. It's a very gray line. And I'm speaking of someone who was at a point in her life very committed and very religious in terms of my, you know, going to church and being, you know, participating in church activities and things like that. I'm like, is there something behind this pursuit for fame, for validation, for recognition, for acknowledgement, you know, that you go beyond, and when you even watch sometimes the way these people portray their lives, you're just like every other regular person. It's just because you're somewhat kind of, you know, known or famous or whatever it is, and then, you know, you stand on this platform of gospel, but really your life isn't about gospel.
I 100% buy the idea, right? I buy the idea.
I have to just
the fact that we have allowed the lines to disappear is the fault of the gospel guys or Christians themselves, and not even artists. These days, you're seeing pastors, and this is no shade to anybody, right? But we're seeing pastors featuring in skits, and the skits are not like Christian skits. We're seeing gospel singers feature in skits where they're talking about. It's just not. It's not.
There are no lines.
So it is our fault that these things are happening, right? We're trying to in the beats who want to create content. You know, we're the woke pastors, the woke ministers. We're trying to create content that is appealing to people, and then they use this thing, which is, I mean, technically it's true, but that's like the excuse now. You know, the church is a hospital, and not everybody's responding to treatment. And if you want to attract them, you have to behave like them. No, you don't have to behave like them. What is happening is, it is now an infiltration, right? You go out and come in as you like. There's no boundary anymore, literally, and that's why a singer can come out and wear a preacher's a pope's robe and all that, and he will lash back at you when you lash at him, because that's what's happening in real life, right? So why are you coming for me?
All right, guys. So let me, in case you're wondering, probably, are the ladies taking this a bit too far? I'm going to read some of the lyrics of Me and You, the song by Tems that won Best Gospel Inspirational Music. Now, it starts with yeah. This is my decision. My decision, I don't think you listen. I don't think you listen. For me to come out, it must mean I'm at the door. It must mean I'm not the same. It must mean I'm on your case. For me to come out, it means I'm at the door. I want to show you my world. Give me one break. I need faith. Faith to believe you, faith to receive you. Give me something I'm lacking. I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you, only me and you, only me and you. Jesus. Make me your matter, make me your matter. Show me your substance, make me your person. Jesus.
But it's inspirational, I guess.
Inspirational, actually.
Yeah, I guess it is inspirational.
You always say something. Lola always says something that everything is subjective.
Of course.
Into your interpretation.
See, that's why I say Potipo inspires me.
Yeah.
Everything is subject to your interpretation.
We couldn't have said it
this
better.
Can pass.
We couldn't have said it better than what Buki said and what Blessing said. It's either we want to stay on the line or we just want to cross and just everybody do what you can do. Because
in the light of the hustle.
In the light of the gospel, honestly.
In the light of the hustle.
In the light of the hustle.
And the gospel.
Hustle,
because gospel is like good news. Everybody's sharing it the way they want to share it.
And people need to understand you can hardly mix the two. Because the truth is, there's sacrifices you have to make. If you're about the gospel, be about the gospel. Once you are about the hustle, that's where the line goes.
We have to, honestly, this conversation needs to be had in a bigger space, because we're all talking about gospel now. Remember that we're the same people that are saying that we need, okay, let me not generalize. I believe that there should be gospel music that just appeals to our feel-good side, like a wedding, a birthday, that you can just bob to, that is not just about worshiping God.
So that boils down to our creativity. You know, we're having this conversation
because
and I'm trying to
you are the one that
ponder on the kind of songs that I hear.
It's different from, I just love you, Lord, and everything is groovy.
Yes, so
I'm happy.
So they're certain, it's not like we don't have it.
That is the problem.
It's about creativity.
Because some of these songs have become more feel good for Christians to enjoy, a nice music that is devoid of,
another challenge
vulgarity.
I have is the fact that if you go to some churches, right,
God.
you hear the soundtrack of a secular music, as in a full one. In fact, they even add the ad-libs. And then they'll now tell you that they're revamping the song and adding gospel lyrics. As though gospel people are not creative enough.
Okay,
you don't think
change
that
the lyrics of the song.
Yes.
I've always found that problematic, but
it
over the years,
is.
I've even seen Christian churches do the intro of popular songs before they hit the notes of the song they're about to get.
It is.
So you can imagine the church hearing Michael Jackson, da-na-na-na-na-na. Everybody's already grooving to,
so you now repurpose the song.
You bet. You know it. And they'll now move it into...
No, but Lolo, check it. Jesus, you bet.
I just knew that's what
you were.
So there's so many lines. Honestly, we Christians need to now sit down, because there are two types of music for me.
And people will argue there
are songs that thoroughly is about the worship of God. Do you know, even in church, there are some praise and worship songs we sing that is just feel good.
That has nothing to do,
that is not even the eulogizing of God or the extolling of His name. We are just Christians that want to dance. If we're getting married, I want to be able to groove my guy, and you don't want to be able to groove to Elohim, you are the only one.
So Lolo, that in itself is not a problem, right? But the issue is we are now making it. I mean, look at the video of the song. Look at the lyrics of the song. It's obvious. It's not about if it's a feel-good song, it's different. You're singing about a man. Let's be honest now. It's not inspirational.
But just like you say, it's subjective to you.
That's your
Another person can say,
because this is somebody's son now.
It's me and you, God. I want to come to you. I
mean,
want
it's
to
like,
be
okay,
your servant. See me.
God
come
make
to
me
you.
your matter.
Make me your matter,
so somebody's
Lord.
son then is
So,
about
but
God.
I don't mind
That's what
if
she said now.
Christians
That's what I'm saying.
agree that our feel-good music can be classified
my
as
gosh.
inspirational. And the ones that you truly mention Jesus, gospel. Because Cece Winans and the rest and those that
Legends,
demography,
so to say.
they were the ones that started some soft feel-good music. That can't you remember that BB song that used to rock in the club?
I wanna be the only one to love.
Yeah, something. So we must be able to now sit at a round table and maybe put a demarcation and say, this is Christian inspirational. No. And this
But how
is
will they
gospel
now
music.
make their money? It's
a
about the
song.
hustle.
That's why I said it's about the hustle. It's about the hustle.
Hey, but if you see
Because
Christian-
nobody wants to do that.
People don't want to do that.
No,
we
we
need to have
this
booking
conversation.
content conference.
Yes, ma'am.
Conference.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a conversation.
This conversation will not end.
Oh, you know, because there's so many things
There's
that
so many
nuances
sides
that
to
even
it.
just discussing it on this table has brought out
Yeah.
that we didn't even consider before.
In fairness, some of those songs are nice. I remember when Kirk came out.
Godwin.
Imagine me.
Don't you remember? God win. As
Voila.
you don't get motto, God win.
That's inspirational
It's
gospel.
inspirational God.
Even this song, I just felt to marry. When, you know, when I'm listening to that song, I'm like, which one is it? Because I'm going towards heaven gate and I just hear something that drags me back to hell. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck?
The lines are blurred.
No,
Honestly,
no,
the
gospel
lines are
inspirational
lines
has come to
blurred.
stay, guys. I mean, there's nothing.
I don't mind if it's a genre.
Don't say gospel inspiration. I say gospel slash inspirational.
I think that they've had that. I think that they've had that category for a while, but I think
Cool gospel. Do they have a
I
cool
think-
gospel
No, I
category?
think BET has had that particular.
It's been there, but the
category.
lines are blurry.
But it's because of this situation now that this conversation is happening, right? And that these ideas are
Now
being
Mirain is
flowing
in the same God problem.
round
You know,
the table.
You see, maybe
even when they did this
before
category,
we
was
leave-
there no pushback?
before we leave this,
Was there no
this
pushback?
discussion,
At least they should have pushed back from the time this nomination came out.
that's what I say. Before we even move away from this, let's say, for example, that because sometimes artists get that feeling, they get that move to do something inspirational, like "Thank you, Father," like "Father Lord," you know, like just a one-off gospel. So maybe this was that for Tems, and she said, "Okay, whatever, I have to do something like give back to God for something." Maybe this could have been that, and she didn't know it would win her the
Stop
BET.
that. No. That's
Stop
another
that.
thing I would not agree with. Because you can't judge a person that sings secular music and say they are not Christian.
Yes.
You can't.
No, we're not saying.
And I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
This is Winans. Did Whitney Houston do gospel track?
gospel
Did
album at
Kev
some
do
point.
Riding on the Show, that song that everybody, you nearly cry, that on the mountaintop,
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly's song. It was so
Storm is
great.
over.
Storm is over. Kev featured in Lean on Me. A couple of, this lady was there. This Charles look alike.
To be honest,
So the thing is, we do need to go on a break, but I believe I don't think that the issue is that we're questioning whether they're Christian or not.
No.
It has
That's
nothing
right.
to do with that.
Yeah.
Your personal faith is your personal faith. It's
We're just talking
entirely
about
up to you
defining lines.
But exactly, defining the lines in terms of music classification
Yes.
and categorization. And even these awards and things like this is like, guys, you know,
And
let
I feel
us-
we've had it like that for a long time because I remember this song. I heard there was a secret chord. All my life I thought it was a gospel song. I had no idea.
It's inspirational.
It's inspirational.
I just think that they should separate it. And there should have been a pushback from when there was nomination.
How will you
that
start
we
separating it
refuse to
now?
be in this category because of this
Why
and that.
will you? Who if they want
Then they will
Of course
It's
I
good that money
would.
makes-
I cannot
beg,
see
go on
African be with God problems.
You know what
and
the
be put
pushback
with
will
Tems
do?
and
The
Bailey.
pushback will remove the
Go
gospel
break,
and
go
leave
break.
I
inspiration.
don't mind.
So Tems
I
winning
do
a
not
gospel
mind.
award is a mockery. Though to show that
Pick a hustle.
Pick your hustle. Tems
go
winning
to
a
break.
gospel
Thank
award is
you.
a mockery to the Christian community, says Daniel Rega. A secular artist winning in a gospel category, now that's insulting. That's his opinion. And the other one, Big Shaq says, to show the award has no relevance, they give who they want to give. what is the gospel song she sang Gangan exactly?
Yeah, you Jesus.
Yeah, so you know there are questions raised there. It's not and it's leaning to the we are going to
Chew on that.
break.
We'll be
Let's go on a
back.
break.
let's
We'll
go
be
and
back.
sell market.
Because
We are
this is
coming back.
Welcome back. The weather is cold. The topics are hot. So it's hot topic o'clock, and our first hot topic. I mean, we've talked about our hot topic, and we're not letting that go in anytime soon. But this time around, we're discussing a sensitive topic that has sparked a lot of debate online. Regina Daniels shared a video showing the preparation for her son's birthday party planned by Jennifer Awele, the late actor Junior Pope's wife. But what caught people's attention was Jennifer's appearance. She's still wearing her wedding ring, and the concerns that followed. Now, personally, I understand it's a delicate situation. Jennifer is still grieving, but she's also working to provide for her family. It's a tough balance between mourning and making ends meet. But people are talking.
What are they talking about?
Like, how long should a widow mourn before getting back to work or living her life? Abi, are there whispers that her husband is taking? In Nigeria, things are happening.
That what?
Are there whispers that the man's probably, you know?
Well, she still looks like she's mourning. Won't she
Even if she
provide-
doesn't look like it, what is the problem?
What's the problem with her working? They are trying to actually empower her.
Yes.
So that she will not be overwhelmed by her situation. And I don't even think she was actively working, maybe before the demise of her husband. That if she doesn't pick up so quickly, she'll be lost. Human
You know,
being, they're
Nigerians like
Yeah,
you being in a
insufferable.
pity situation.
Nigerians
right?
like misery.
Yeah.
They like
Misery
misery parties. They
Just-
like pity parties.
Just-
they want your life to be a reflection of what
you are
they're
going
through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what they were
It is
expecting
sickening.
is actors will come together and open a fund, GoFundMe, and then they put a picture on the sons and like we're going through a lot and all that. But I don't know, man. Like,
It's not better
right
to
now
teach a
she's
man how to
trying
fish
to-
than to continuously give him fish.
Exactly. And who tells you how to grieve for a woman? So you think our mothers that wore black and sat in the house for 1 year, you think it was palatable for them?
in fact, big ups to Regina
Look,
Daniels for giving
big
her
ups
that
to her.
project.
God bless you,
Thank
babe.
you. Because a lot of times, the only thing we think of is how to send them money, and then most people don't even meet up with their promise. So I'm going to send you. They will come out and say, "Oh, 2 million for this person," and then 10 years they are pursuing the 2 million.
How long will she
Whatever
wait for
what
a
they are doing,
digest like that to
if
pay
they're
school
event
fees?
planners, that's the time to focus on them. Give them all the events. They should plan it.
Especially in the situation, in the economic situation that we're in as a country. How do you expect? Things have changed. Things have evolved. You cannot expect, maybe before it was probably acceptable to be in mourning for 9 months or so, but
Not anymore.
What's your children eat?
anymore.
But do you know that
eat?
when people's spouses die, do you know the biggest promises are just around the time of that
Yeah.
noise
Of
that
course.
everybody...
Yeah.
She will pick her phone and call some of these people that say, I will be
That's
there
what I'm
for
saying.
you. They'll tell them they're not in the country.
Yeah.
And she has to meet
Some
a
may not
need.
even pick the
Now
phone.
she's not even doing it. It's not like, oh, she's dressed in the attire of a prostitute. She's still in mourning clothes, but she's engaging in some work. How is that wrong?
I remember when I lost my sister years ago. The experience, it wasn't just the day or the experience after just showed me how quickly life moves
Goes on.
Yes.
Yes.
And you can be sitting down there. And there was something that I remember when there was a day my mom, and my other sister and myself went to the cemetery. It was because she didn't die in Nigeria. She died abroad. So we buried her abroad. And we went to the cemetery. It was maybe a few weeks or so before we were leaving the UK to come back to Nigeria. And we were sitting down in the cab, at the grounds, and we had this very forlorn look on our face. And the cab driver looked at us and said, everybody's on a clock. Everybody's on a clock. Everybody has a clock. Everybody has a time.
Damn.
I have never forgotten those words. Because the very next moment, everybody goes back to their lives. The things that you think people are going to do for you, the ways that you think people are going to show up for you, they've got their own lives to live.
Yeah.
So if you find somebody, and in a situation like this, you kind of you don't want to be bogged down thinking about what you've lost.
Yes.
What could have been, what might have been. You know, one of the ways, I know that grieving is a process, but one of the ways to kind of help you through that and also
Is to get back to work.
Honestly, do you know,
It's going to
Once
hit
you
you
have
once a
some-
while, but once you're working, it's better. Even if you're sitting down miserable.
gives you
and-
something
Yes,
to hold on
if you're
to.
sitting down and people are sending you money, it just, once the money is getting finished, you'll be like, oh, I wish my husband were here. But you're working, you're busy, you are proud of yourself that, okay, my husband left, but I'm
empowering
stepping,
myself.
I'm filling the shoes for my children.
and she has to step up and show up for her children.
I love that. Thank you, Regina Daniels, for doing
No,
this.
literally, who died and made anybody the authority to say when your husband dies or when your wife dies, and we don't even see this we don't see this flip side for when the man loses a wife, right?
no, at
But when
all.
your husband dies, you know, you have to mourn for 3 months, you have to mourn for 6 months, you have to mourn for 9 months. If it's not complete, it means that maybe you get hand inside,
Yes.
or
You
know,
can't
didn't
even
really
remarry.
love the man. Or, I mean, these things are so culturally backward. Culturally backward.
Yeah.
Allow the person, you know,
And
get on with her life.
I think the best thing people can do for widows is put them to work.
Empower
Give
them.
them empower them.
word.
Give them a certain time and respect, because listen, some people mourn for the rest of their lives, meaning that you don't really get over the loss. The loss,
never
you
do.
learn to live.
You learn to live with it.
One thing
And that takes a
one thing I
life.
like though is the fact that when things like this happen, Nigerians show their true color. Because when you tell
how
people that
evil
people don't
they
really
are.
care, right? They want you to be miserable. They want. I mean, looking at all the events that have unfolded recently, Sharon's wedding, Davido's wedding, everybody had something to say. If you do things, I saw something somewhere that your confidence comes from within. If you do it because of validation, those same people will push you back into misery.
Don't.
My
Honestly,
God.
I keep saying to everybody that is on our own side of the divide, that we do visible work. I do not respect anyone who I have not given authority to speak over me. It is our friendship that gives you the authority to speak over me. He's our sister.
It's not even over me,
Not
said.
over me, say your own. Do you understand?
For me.
If you don't consign you,
Say your own. If I hear,
I'll
hear.
just do like this. When you talk, I'll just keep looking at you.
Thank you for
Thank you so much for your contribution. And I keep moving on because none of it really matter.
Like,
It doesn't matter.
at the end of the day, let's be honest, because the truth is, if this woman was sitting down sulking, mourning for 1 year plus, the same people will come and say, life has evolved. Stop sitting down.
Sitting down.
Stop asking for money. People are doing their own
Yes.
thing. Can't you
Don't you have a
work?
business?
Don't, exactly.
Don't you have, were you not doing
And
something before your husband
it's
died?
not just about mourning. Like, this happens, it cuts across marriage. Like, everybody is pressuring you to marry. When you start suffering in the marriage, you don't see them, or even your family members will tell you, it's your marriage now, handle it. Well, it cuts across work. When you're burnt out, rest. Don't say, oh, people will say this, people will say that. The same people will say otherwise when you do otherwise.
Yes.
So please don't put
My sister, drink water and keep
cup.
Let's move on.
Oh my Lord.
Honestly, I've never seen
We are a very
But I think
busybody
even
kind
the
of people.
economic straits that we're in is bringing out the evil in people. It's not like when people tell me that when people abuse substances,
You say what? The economic straits we're in is bringing out. No.
hunger
No,
can
no,
make
no,
your
no.
real color come out.
No. The
it's
real
been
color
there.
was there before.
It's been there now.
It has nothing to do
just
with hunger.
amplifies
It has nothing to
it.
do with poverty. In
Yes.
fact,
Just has to
I
do with
think
our nature.
The same way overabundance amplifies your personality.
Yeah.
It's actually the same way lack
Yeah.
amplifies it. You know, because at that point you don't have enough, so
Yes,
it's like
or-
I have nothing to lose.
It's not even just
Or
about lack.
I have
It's
a lot.
idleness.
what?
Boredom. It's not about the lack. People that are making good money are sitting there in their offices and still
And
blasting
make
people
time.
online. It's boredom.
Boredom.
All right, guys.
They give you
On the
work
note,
to
I
do.
hope we're not. I hope you we are not boring you this morning.
Don't be
and I hope
bored,
It's not. You cannot be bored, though. Really, guys, you can't be bored on Jasiri, because this is where we get deep into those conversations that people just whisper around the corridors. But now let's take a short break. When we return, Jasiri will continue. Thank you.
Welcome back. We're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at New Central TV. Please use the hashtag #JustSiri to be part of our conversations. Now, this morning we had a plan. But you know, as they say, man proposes and God disposes. Because we wanted to talk about branding. We wanted to talk about how to put your personal, your best face and your best voice and your best dress forward. And then the rain decided to, you know,
Okay, was that gospel or inspirational?
Inspirational, my sister. Inspirational.
It sounds gospel to me.
Anyway, we do have a guest in the studio right now, and he is here to tell us about what it means to have a personal brand, first of all, but the power of personal branding. And like I said, putting your best face and your best voice forward. So without any further ado, please make welcome he calls himself, is it Vader?
Vader.
Vader the Wildcard.
We had wild
He's a
child,
content
now
creator,
wild
a
card.
strategist, a public media consultant. His name is Franklyn Ikemefune. Welcome to JustSiri.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Looking for the
Vader.
wildness in the quiet man.
Mr. Vader, excuse me.
Mr. Vader.
Darth Vader.
First of all, I'd like to say that he just complimented our colors.
Absolutely. See, I had to bring the balance.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Actually,
Yeah.
he does.
Makes sense. We have a very limited time, so I want us to just sort of skip to like the good part and tell us in your own words.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
part of personal branding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
In your own words. Sorry, Bookie's tired. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not tired yet. But in your own words, what is or how powerful? No, let me try and phrase this question very well. What is the power of personal branding?
Okay. I think we need to look at it from a perspective of dispensation. We're currently in the internet era, right? But it's evident that we're about to enter into a whole new dispensation, an experiential dispensation, and everything points to it. AR, VR, Web3, the metaverse, you know. There are some words that have, by definition, they have remained the same, but the functionality has changed. For instance, private used to mean when you are alone in a secluded space. Public used to mean when you are together. But now, those words can be used interchangeably. You could be private,
But public.
or be public at the same time, speaking to people via, you know, like IG Live or like what we're doing right now. So, things are beginning to, functionality in words are beginning to change. For example, reality. Now, reality means, you know, components of a contemporary dispensation. But they are bringing in VR, virtual reality.
Yeah.
Virtual means almost reality. So it means there's a semblance of this reality that, you know, that exists, that you can tap into via technology. There's also augmented reality. Augmented, by definition, means that, you know, making something greater. So it means that they can add functionality to this reality that we're in right now. So that means that the dispensation that we're going into, the value system in the marketplace is expanding to accept intangible skills. And that's where personal branding comes in.
Right.
So because the nature of the dispensation we are going into is going to be experiential, now your worth is going to be measured by the experience of you that people have. And some people are already ahead of the curve. They're already doing it. In the video that went viral, I was talking about someone like Tony Elumelu, for instance. Now, putting his face in front of all of his brands, right? Now he can leverage on that. It's crazy because when you start looking at things like this, you realize that the experience of you that I have can cloud my judgment as regards your product. I can make excuses for your product because of the experience of you that I have. So that means that this is the best time to pay a lot of attention to your personal branding. Because we are getting into a dispensation wherein people are literally going to be... It's going to be like... they are going to ascribe attributes of environment to individuals. Like, I had a great experience of this person. is so salient because when all of these things came into being, we didn't realize it. See, when we started emphasizing on words like, oh, I feel like, I feel like, we didn't know the meaning of that. You know, we started touching on the intangibles like, oh, we're talking about, you know, toxicity. The dispensation before this, it had no meaning. There was nothing like toxicity. But now we are touching the intangibles, right? Toxicity. We're talking about, because I feel like this, I identify as this. You can see that these words are coming into play. So I identify as this. That was this new dispensation knocking on the door, and people did not quickly realize that was what was happening. But we are going to feel the full brunt in the next few years. We are going to really experience it, wherein when you get into, say you go for an interview with somebody, for instance, you have the same level of skill set as somebody.
Yeah.
Or as other people who are also vying for that position.
Yeah.
They will then say, okay, we know you're skilled. Let's leave that for now. Who are you as an individual? What's the aggregate of the experiences that you've had? What's your perspective concerning life? What's your reputation? Intangibles. You understand? Yeah. So like the skill set that is required in the dispensation to come are intangible. Yeah. Personal branding, curiosity, your ability to tell stories, intuition, curiosity. You see that all of these things can't be statistically measured. They have to be experienced. So that's why at this point in time, it is important for you to be intentional about how you brand yourself, how you position yourself, your perspective, how you shape your perception, you know, in the public. There's a phrase that I use all the time: brand or be branded. Whether you're aware of it or not, you have a brand. Now the question is whether you curated that on your own or people ascribed it to you. You understand? So, but usually when people ascribe a branding to you, it's usually less than desirable because they don't have the inside scope. They don't have all of the perspectives, right? So you realize that there are other parts of you that they can't see. But what they can see is what they have used to aggregate who you are as a human being. So when you realize that that is happening without your knowledge, you then decide, okay, look, let me intentionally curate how I want people to look at me. So that means you leverage on your strengths. You look at where you have deficiencies, then you work on those, right? And you know how you project yourself. It is going to be very, very, everybody is doing it. Elon Musk is doing it right now. Let me tell you something. When I was talking about Tony Elumelu, people were talking about, oh, what of the other wealthy people? I'm like, look, some people are ahead of the curve. But one thing that I'm aware of is that wealthy people who want to, or, you know, like highly successful people who want to perpetuate continuity already know this. Now, the question is whether they want to put themselves out there or they want to pick somebody who will be the face. But every establishment, multinationals and conglomerates are aware of this, that there has to be a face. When people are buying shares, Tesla, these Elon Musk brands, right? They are buying Elon Musk.
Yes.
They're buying his experience, his brand promise,
essence.
His essence.
That's why the people buy Fenty, because they're buying Rihanna.
They're buying Rihanna.
They're not buying the product. There's no difference. True. And they would not complain about it because it's Rihanna. It's breaking. It's unique.
Exactly. Now, if you see complaints in the comment section and they're saying, oh, maybe there's something wrong with the product, you see people telling them, nah, Rihanna can't do something like that.
It must be intentional.
Just putting your best foot forward.
I really wish, but we're going to have to beg you, Ikemefune, that you have to come back. Today is not this day because there is a lot of unboxing that we have to do because this is so important to the times that we're in. But I want to thank you for wading through Lagos traffic and the waters to be here.
And I have to say that this last 10 minutes actually have been a masterclass.
My God, no!
Yeah.
All of us.
Did you see me looking at achieve like this, sir. Can I have your personal connection?
Oh my goodness, but that is all the time that we have for today's episode. Time flies when you're having fun, and I know that's how you feel, but we'll be back again, same time tomorrow. Thank you, Franklyn, for making it in through the rain and the flood, because I know Ikorodu Road was flooded.
Yes,
so we really do appreciate that, but we need to have this conversation, so hopefully we can have it in full again. But from us right now, it's goodbye.